Baseball in the Boroughs is brought to you by Verizon. With my plan, get exactly what you want and only pay for what you need.
After a 15-5 shelling at Fenway Park last night, the Yankees have now lost 6 of their last 9 games. The loss of Aaron Judge seems to have left quite a big hole on this lineup. Greg Joyce is a Yankees beat writer for the New York Post, and he joins me now to break down what went wrong last night. Greg, the Red Sox, they really dominated the Yankees 15-5 last night in the first game of the series. What happened, and what do they need to do to try and fix those mistakes going forward tonight?
Yeah, it was a little bit of everything, starting with Domingo Germán, who's been, arguably he's been their best starter over the last month and a half, coming into Friday, and then just had a real stinker. Nothing was working well for him. Couldn't even get an out in the third inning. He's usually a big command guy throwing strikes with his curveball, one of his best pitches, and that really wasn't there for him, and he struggled to kind of get ahead of guys. We've seen him be really efficient over the last month and a half, but he just didn't have it on Friday night, and they were hitting him hard. And then, the defense behind him obviously wasn't much help, especially as the game went on. We saw some shoddy defense in the infield from Josh Donaldson, Anthony Rizzo, Gleyber Torres, throwing error from Jake Bowers in right field. So it was just really a rough night overall. It seemed like it kind of piling up. It was another quiet night for the offense until the game was pretty much out of hand. It got to 13-1 before the Yankees started to kind of scrap together some runs. So just a really rough night all around. Seems like their problems are just kind of piling up one after the other. So they didn't really have a great game in any kind of fashion of the game.
Mm-hmm. And of course, Aaron Judge, he's still out with an injury, and this team really seems to be missing him. Are the Yankees struggling because of his absence, or are they struggling at a time when he just happens to be out?
I think it's a little bit of both. Obviously, when you lose the reigning AL MVP, that's a blow. And you kind of feel that whether or not, obviously they're trying to kind of carry on without him because they know he's not coming back, at least in the short term, anytime soon. So they're going to have to figure out a way to play and win without him. But it's also just a bad time for their top hitters to go cold. I mean, Anthony Rizzo had been, one of their rocks offensively through the first 2 months of the season. He's really just gone cold since Judge went down with the injury. Giancarlo Stanton obviously hasn't gotten off to the best start since coming off the IL. Josh Donaldson has kind of been feast or fortune, almost all of his hits this season are home runs. And just DJ LeMahieu still is yet to kind of get going. Gleyber Torres hasn't really, gotten hot again after a pretty good start to the season. So if you look at the top half of their lineup, and it's just a lot of guys who are in slumps and haven't been able to break it. So a lot of times, Judge can win the Yankees a game single-handedly sometimes, it seems like. But even if he was in the lineup, he wouldn't be getting much help around him. So they really just kind of need their big bats to step up in his absence, and they haven't been able to do that just yet.
And beyond Judge, this team is dealing with a number of injuries. Are there any bright spots, anything to be positive about on that front?
Yeah, so Carlos Rodon is starting a rehab assignment on Tuesday. Which is good news for the Yankees. It's the closest he's been, obviously, since getting hurt in spring training. He'll probably need about 3 rehab starts, I think. So looks like the first week in July could be a realistic goal for him to return to the Yankees and make his debut after signing that big contract in the offseason. So he's finally kind of on the horizon. Seems like Harrison Bader has a chance to be back as early as Tuesday on the homestand. There was a chance they initially expected he'd be back on Friday night here at Fenway, but he wanted a few more rehab games to kind of test out his legs defensively. So, but they think, if he gets 1 or 2 more under his belt, that he could be good to go on Tuesday, which obviously would be big when he's healthy. He's right. He's obviously huge defensively, but he's also giving them a jolt in the lineup. So they could certainly use him. And then the other guy who's close to return is Ian Hamilton, kind of an unexpectedly big part of the bullpen through the first 2 months of the season, or a month and a half before he got injured. He has a rehab assignment starting probably on Sunday, so it seems like a week, maybe less, until he's back as well.
All right, well, hopefully these guys get back soon, maybe add a little bit of a spark to this team. 2 more on deck with the Red Sox in Boston. Greg, thank you so much for joining us.
Sure. Thanks for having me.